Okay, go ahead, Bennett.
Okay. Exercise is the single most powerful tool you have to optimize your brain function. Exercise has a profound impact on cognitive abilities and mental health. It is simply one of the best treatments we have for psychiatric problems. That was a quote by John Ratty. People partake in some sort of physical activity every single day, but yet they still don't know what it all does for them. Over time, scientists and professors have put together tests and studies to look deeper into what physical activity does or what it all does for you. Physical activity doesn't just affect your body, but also your mind, and in some cases can play a big role in dealing with certain mental problems. The best part about it too is there are all sorts of ways people can be active. Before I get into my main points, I'll go on to talk about the form that I developed for you. All the questions were basically similar, asking how do you feel after physical activity, or do you feel satisfied? The first one I asked was, do you feel satisfied, relieved, and good after you're working out or going on physical activities? Out of 17 responses, 15 of you said yes. On to the next one, I asked, how do you feel, to let you explain yourself. The majority of the answers had the good, proud, or happy. So this shows that most of you understand a bit about the mood change that physical activity can create for you. The general idea is, if you go on constant workouts or constant physical activity, it'll have an effect on your body, lungs, etc. But most don't know what is going on up in your mind. A quote stated by 3 authors. Now bear with me on the names because they're from Spain. Ana Eva Rodriguez Bravo, Angel de Juanes, and Francisco Javier Garcia Castella, in their article titled Effects of Physical Sports Leisure Activity on Young People's Psychiatric Well-Being. The quote goes, "It is also an ideal resource for learning and developing social skills to ensure inclusion and appropriate strategies for emotional management. Similarly, it forces the learning of values that promote the assumption of responsibilities, decision-making capacity, tolerance of frustration, and the development of resilience." I think it is crazy that physical activity can play that many effects in all those ways in your mind. Now those are just some of the ways, but it is also an effective way of dealing with people's mental problems. There are all kinds of mental problems out there, and Karen J. Kalfas and Wendell C. Taylor explain it well in their article, Effects of Physical Activity on Psychological Variables in Adolescence, by stating, physical activity was consistently related to improvements in self-esteem, self-concept, depressive symptoms, and anxiety and stress. There were no negative effects of physical activity reported in these studies. They also go on later in their article to explain how it can help people with ADHD. But out of all of the issues that are out there, the 2 main ones that have been studied to see how exercise helps is depression and anxiety. Scott A. Paluski and Thomas L. Schwenk, in their article, Physical Activity and Mental Health, Current Concepts, say, although people with depression tend to be less physically active than non-depressed individuals, increased aerobic exercises or strength training has been shown to reduce depressive symptoms significantly. Anxiety symptoms and panic disorder also improve with regular exercise, and beneficial effects appear to equal meditation or relaxation. The main thing to remember is, even though it can have a crucial impact on mental issues, none of this is possible without actually going out and exercising in the right way. All sorts of people go out there and do what they can say physical activities. There's a variety of different things you can do. The first thing you can do is sports, which is the obvious one. There's football, volleyball, swimming, hockey, track. There's all sorts of them. Now some of the other things that people may not know, or that people may not know and do every day, is simply just lifting or going to the gym, going on walks, jogs, or runs anywhere, biking or riding some sort of device like a skateboard, and even jobs that require you to walk around a lot or lift heavy things can be classified as physical activities. While doing these, there's a certain time requirement you must meet to get the full effect. Carrie Murray, Grant Schofield, and Christina Capricorn wrote in their article called Physical Activity, Dose Response Effects on Mental Health Status in Older Adults. Quote talked about how patients classified as moderately active and highly active have a higher mental health than those who are not. That is just the time though that they talked about. Now we'll talk about the intensity of the workouts. Both vigorous and moderate activities offer effects. Peter Newman, in his article, Psychological Aspects of Physical Activity, talked about the studies that suggest vigorous, sustainable activities reduce tension. He also brought up how there are multiple other studies that suggest moderate exercise is more beneficial only in extended periods of time on a regular basis. But most of them are equal and can work well together. But none of this will matter if you put bad things into your body. Julius Ornberger says in their article, The Relationship Between Physical and Mental Health, a mediation analysis. He says that physical and mental health are related to lifestyle choices, such as smoking, drinking alcohol, and diet/food consumption. Basically, you get out what you put in. You put bad things into your body, you're going to have an equally bad outcome. And that's just common sense and facts. As you've learned, physical activity affects your body and also your mind in big ways, and can even alter some mental health problems. You shouldn't have trouble finding something to do with all the choices out there, from sports to simply going to the gym and walking, and also your jobs. So the next time you think if you should go out and exercise or do that activity, remember all the hidden effects it will have on your body and your mind. Thank you for listening to my speech.